Altura ALU value estimate January 2029. For January, the expense of Altura basically is expected to by and large show up at a run-of-the-mill month-to-month outright farthest, generally reaches of 0.26, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 0.27 and at in every way that really matters least 0.24 in an extremely huge way. ALU value conjecture February 2029. In February 2029, the expense of Altura fundamentally is gauged to be at around a base order worth of 0.26. In an unpretentious manner, the Altura esteem worth can show up at a constraint of 0.28, with the regular trading genuinely worth of 0.27 in USD or so. They thought ALU value estimate walk 2029 and walk 2029. The expense of Altura by and large is gauged to truly be at around a base, essentially worth of 0.27. In a genuinely significant manner, the Altura esteem really worth can fundamentally show up at a constraint of 0.29 with the run-of-the-mill trading pretty worth of 0.28. In USD Altura ALU value figure April 2029. For April, the expense of Altura especially is expected to basically show up at a run-of-the-mill month-to-month uttermost compasses of 0.29, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 0.31 and no less than 0.28 or so. They certainly thought Altura value forecast May 2029. The expense of Altura truly is expected to really arrive at in any event worth of 0.29 in 2029, in an especially huge manner. The ALU cost could show up at a generally outrageous exceptionally worth of 0.32, with the commonplace trading cost of 0.30, all through 2029. ALU value gauge June 2029. In June 2029, the expense of not entirely settled to be at around a base exceptionally worth of 0.30, which sort of is very huge. The Altura esteem truly worth can show up at a restriction of 0.33, with the commonplace trading worth of 0.31 in USD ALU value figure July 2029. In July 2029, the expense of Altura in every way that really matters is assessed to generally be at around a base genuinely worth of 0.30. The Altura esteem commonly worth can fundamentally show up at a constraint of 0.34, with the regular trading genuinely worth of 0.31 in USD. In an unpretentious way, Altura ALU value expectation August 2029. With respect to August 2029, Altura cost basically is gauged to explicitly show up at a kind of the most impossible level of 0.31. The ALU cost could generally show up at a most genuinely outrageous possible level of 0.36, with the regular check cost of 0.33. In a significant manner, Altura ALU value figure September 2029. For September, the expense of Altura especially is expected to show up at a regular month-to-month sort of the uttermost by and large reaches of 0.33, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 0.37 and something like 0.32 in a truly significant manner. Altura ALU value expectation October 2029. With respect to October 2029, Altura cost in a real sense is gauged to for the most part show up at a most negligible possible level of 0.34 or so. They thought the ALU cost could in a real sense show up at a most outrageous possible level of 0.38, with the regular figure cost of 0.35 really, as opposed to prevalent thinking Altura value conjecture November 2029. The in every way that really matters, ordinary expense of Altura ALU could go to 0.35 toward November's end ALU could be trading around an undoubtedly outrageous pretty worth of 0.40, with the base expected cost of 0.34 in an unobtrusive manner. Altura ALU value expectation December 2029. With respect to December 2029, Altura cost sort of is guessed to show up at a most decreased possible level of 0.35. The ALU cost could show up at a most especially outrageous possible level of 0.42, with the commonplace figure cost of 0.36 or so. They certainly thought Altura for the most part passed value examination, with a development in its trading volume and market cap. The Altura's expense by and large has shown a good addition of 334 at this point. From latest 7 days, the ALU essentially was an extraordinary sort of vertical example and extended by 1069. Altura truly has shown solid areas for vary of kind of late, and this could be good an entryway to make a plunge and contribute, or so they basically thought. Altura value figure 2029 facts what will fundamentally be Altura for the most part worth in 2029. The ALU not entirely set in stone to really show up at a most essentially outrageous level of 0.42, with sort of the smallest expense of 0.35, close to the completion of 2029, which explicitly is genuinely huge. Does Altura truly have a future in a sort of significant manner, to the extent that worth Altura especially has a remarkable potential to show up at new levels? Without a doubt it sort of is gauged that ALU will augment in regard in an unpretentious way. According to unequivocal subject matter experts and business analysts, Altura can in a real sense make some waves in and out of town cost of 0.91 till 2030. In opposition to prevalent thinking, is Altura extremely worth buying in 2029? Really, in spite of mainstream thinking, Altura's worth by and large should continue to develop as need will and especially broad stimulate cost rise, or so they basically thought, on the off chance that it's not a problem note there for the most part, as a bet to any endeavor in a very enormous manner. Basically by and large put assets into what you can accomplish before arriving at any goals, and most certainly lead the best assessment possible, or so they especially thought. Altura ALU value figure January 2030. For January, the expense of Altura basically is expected to for the most part show up at a run-of-the-mill month-to-month, barely the uttermost explicitly reaches of 0.38, while the coin will trade between a constraint of 0.39 and no less than 0.35, which basically is genuinely huge. Altura ALU value expectation February 2030. With respect to February 2030, Altura cost is figured to show up at a most diminished possible level of 0.38. The ALU cost could generally show up at a biggest possible level of 0.41, with the commonplace check cost of 0.39, which is very critical. Altura ALU value expectation WAC 2030. With respect to WAC 2030, Altura cost truly is gauged to for the most part show up at a most decreased possible level of 0.38, which is very huge. The ALU cost could by and large show up at a biggest possible level of 0.43, with the run-of-the-mill guess cost of 0.40, which generally is very critical. Altura value figure April 2030. The genuinely ordinary expense of Altura ALU could sort of go to 0.41 toward April's end in a really significant manner. ALU could basically be trading around a biggest genuinely worth of 0.44, with the base expected cost of 0.39 in a genuinely significant manner. ALU value gauge, May 2030. In May 2030, the expense of Altura fundamentally is gauged to generally be at around a base genuinely worth of 0.40. In an unpretentious manner, the Altura esteem worth can especially show up at a restriction of 0.46, with the normal trading in every practical sense worth of 0.42 in USD. In a significant way, Altura ALU value conjecture, June 2030. For June, the expense of Altura is expected to in a real sense show up at a run-of-the-mill month-to-month, in every practical sense, uttermost especially reaches of 0.44, while the coin will trade between a restriction of 0.48 and at particularly the least 0.42, in spite of main